Jnanakosha, Puranas.
Sargaccha pratisargaccha vamsho manvantaraani cha vanshānucharitanchaiva Puranam pancalakshanam.
Markandeya Purana, Uttam Manvantara. King Uttam abandons his wife. Kaustiki says, O Lord, now tell me about the Uttam Manvantara. Markandeya replied, Uttanpada and Suruchi had a son named Uttam. Uttam was married to Bahula. Bahula did not love Uttam and always showed disrespect towards him. One day, while both of them were sitting in the court, watching the proceedings, Uttam offered a betel leaf to Bahula, which he refused. King Uttam felt dishonored. He ordered his attendant to abandon the queen in the forest. Bahula too was very happy, thinking that now she will not have to be in the company of Uttam. This way Bahula was taken to the forest. One day a sad Brahmin came to Uttam and said, O king, somebody has abducted my wife. I need your help in finding out my lost wife. Uttam asked the Brahmin about the nature, physical construction, about the age of his wife. The Brahmin revealed all the facts related with his wife. The king was not impressed. The facts which the Brahmin had furnished went to prove that his wife was not a chaste lady. The king expressed his view about his wife in so many words. He said, What is the use of having such a wicked wife? Forget about her. I'll give you another one with all the good qualities. The Brahmin replied, O king, it is one's duty to protect one's wife, no matter how wicked she may be. By protecting your wife, your children also get protected. A man who does not protect his wife has a son of hybrid class. His ancestors are degraded from the heaven because of such type of son. I am not able to perform my religious obligations because of the absence of my wife. O king, please help me. While searching the Brahmin's wife, King Uttam saw a sage at a secluded place. When the sage saw King Uttam, he wanted to offer some aradhya to him, which his disciples prohibited him from doing. Then the sage changed his mind and offered his seat to the king. The king asked about the reason why he changed his mind of offering the aradhya. The sage replied, Though you are the descendant of Swayambhu Manu, but since you have committed a grave sin by abandoning your wife, I decided that you are not fit to be offered the aradhya. No matter how mean your wife is, it is your duty to protect her at all costs. King Uttam was very ashamed of himself. He asked the sage about the whereabouts of the Brahmin's wife. The sage replied, His wife has been abducted by the demon Balak, the son of Adri. He has kept her in the forest called Uttalapalvat. Go and help the Brahmin to meet his wife so that he doesn't commit a grave sin like you. Brahmin's wife returns home. Markandeya says, when King Uttam reached Uttapalavat forest, he saw a woman eating a sriphal fruit. The king asked that woman whether she was the wife of that Brahmin Shusharma. The woman replied in the affirmative and said, The demon abducted me while I was sleeping. Since that day he has kept me here. I am very afraid of the demon. The king then asked the woman about the demon's whereabouts. The woman pointed towards the direction of the demon's path. The king went in that direction. When the demon saw the king approaching him, he bowed down in reverence and said, O king, what can I do for you? The king asked, Why have you abducted the wife of this Brahmin? The demon replied, I am not the demon who devours human beings. I devour their flaws. I have many beautiful wives, so where is the need of aspiring for another woman? Actually, the Brahmin is a very learned man and has mastered the mantras. By chanting Rakshodhana mantras during oblations, he has increased my hunger by making incantations. Therefore, I have abducted his wife to prevent him from accomplishing any yajna. The king became very sad. He thought, what a grave sin I have committed by abandoning my wife. Earlier, that sage too did not find me fit for giving Aradhya. Now, this demon is also aware of the importance of one's wife in religious ceremonies. How cruel I have been to my wife. The demon told the king, O king, what should I do for you? The king replied, devour the flaws of this woman so that she becomes humble. After that, carry her back home. The demon acted as per the instructions of King Uttam. As a result, the Brahmin's wife became very humble. She said to the king, it seems there is no fault of this demon. Perhaps I must have caused separation between a husband and wife in my previous life, and for that very reason I was forced to suffer this separation with my husband in this present life. The demon said, O king, what else do you want from me? The king said, you must be present before me whenever I remember you. The demon agreed. He carried the Brahmin's wife to her home. The sage and King Uttam and birth of Uttam Manu. Markandeya says King Uttam wondered as to what should he do to get liberated from the sins of abandoning his wife. He requested the sage to help him in this regard. The sage informed the king that his wife was living at Ranatala, the king of the serpents. Kapotak is looking after her. Kapotak has a daughter named Nanda. Being concerned about her mother's future, Nanda had hidden your wife. The sage became very furious and cursed her. As a result, she became dumb. Uttam, your wife was always a chaste woman. It was only due to evil influences of the planet that she was not paying adequate attention to you. Now you should go and take her back to your home. Uttam returned back to his palace. Markandeya says, Uttam met the Brahmin and told him that now as he had reunited with his wife, it was now his turn to help him to reunite with his wife. The Brahmin assured Uttam that he would perform a yajna named Mitravinda, which would help him to achieve his goal. He requested Uttam to bring his wife so that the yajna could be performed. Uttam remembered Nisachar, a demon, and requested him to bring his wife. Nisachar went to Patala Loka and brought his wife. The queen was very happy to see her husband once again. She requested him to cure Nanda, who had become dumb for no fault of hers. Saraswat Japa was chanted to cure Nanda. When Nanda regained her voice, she came to the oblation site and after embracing the queen, blessed her by saying that she would become a proud mother of a very famous son named Manu. After that she went back to Patala Loka. In due course of time, the queen gave birth to a son who was named Uttam by the sages. Uttam Manvantar. Markandeya says, O sage, the following ganas who reigned during Uttam Manvantara are very famous. They are the first Gana Swathama, the second Gana Satya was related with the deities, the third Gana was Shiva, the fourth was named Pratardhan, and the fifth Gana was Vashvaritri. Each of the Ganas are the master of 12 deities. Indra, by the name of Shushanti, rules all the three worlds by the virtue of accomplishing 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. He, along with Shiva and Satya, bestows peace to the world. The descendants of Uttama ruled the whole earth for the full period of Uttam Manvantara. The Saptarishis during this Uttam Manvantara were the sons of sage Mahatapa. The description of this third Manvantara is now complete. Now I am going to tell you about the fourth Manvantara, which is also known as Tamas Manvantara. Tamas Manvantara, Markandeya says, There used to live a king named Swarashtra. The deity Surya had blessed him with a long life. The king had 100 wives, but they were not as lucky as he was as far as enjoying a long life was concerned. One by one, all of them died. A king from the neighboring state named Vimarth defeated him in a battle. After being defeated, Swarashtra went at the bank of river Vitasta and started doing penance. One day it rained heavily and the king was swept by the ferocious current. The drowning king saw a doe and held her tail to save his life. The doe told the king that she was aware about the lust of the king. She also told her that her pregnancy was causing hindrance in making love. The king was amazed. He asked to how she could speak like a human being despite of being an animal. The doe replied that she was his most beloved queen Mahishi in her previous life. She had killed a pair of deer while they were making love. The doe had died, but the deer survived. He had cursed her to become a doe in her next life. The deer also revealed to the queen that she would give birth to the mighty Loha. The same Loha would later on become famous as Manu after defeating his father's enemies. The king was very pleased at this. In due course of time, the doe gave birth to a son, after which she went to the heaven. The sages named the son Tamas. When Tamas became young, he did penance to please Surya. Surya gave him many weapons by the help of which Tamas was able to defeat all his enemies. He brought all the enemies in front of his father, but Swarashtra forgave everybody. He gave this kingdom to Tamas. Markandeya says Tamas ruled over the whole earth. 4 types of deities were famous during this Manvantara: Satyagana, Sudhigana, Surupagana and Harigana. Indra was known as Shikhi during this Manvantara. The names of these Saptarishis who lived during this Manvantara were Jyotirdharma, Prithu, Kavya, Chaitra, Agni, Balak and Pivar. The sons of Tamas Manu were very mighty. Their names were Nara, Kshanti, Shant, Dhant, Janu and Jhanka. Raivat Manvantara. Markandeya says, now I am going to tell you about Raivat Manu. His father was Ritvak. Raivat was born in Revati Nakshatra. Later on he became infamous for his loose character. His father was very worried about him. Ritvak asked sage Garg as to how such a mean child had been born to him. Sage Garg replied, the negative qualities of your son is due to his birth in Revati Nakshatra. Ritvak became very furious with Revati Nakshatra and cursed it, as a result of which Revati Nakshatra fell down on Kumund mountain. All the 4 directions became illuminated and a reservoir was created. A girl manifested from that reservoir. A sage named from Mauchi brought that girl to his hermitage and named her as Revati. When the girl became young, the sage was very worried about her marriage. One day, Hatshan revealed to him that she would get married to Durgam, the eldest son of Swayambhu Manu. One day, Durgam arrived at Pramochi's hermitage. He saw Revati and asked her, "O beautiful lady, can you tell me where sage Pramochi is. I have come here to pay my obeisance to him. At that time, sage Pramochi was busy performing his yajna. Hearing his voice, he came out. Seeing Durgam at his hermitage, he instructed his disciple Gautam to bring Aradhya for him. The sage said, Durgam is not only a king but also my son-in-law. Durgam was very surprised at that what sage Pramochi had said. He asked sage Pramochi as to how could he be his son-in-law and who was his wife. The sage replied, your wife is none other than the girl whom you met some time earlier. Her name is Revati. Then the sage narrated the whole story, how sage Garg had prophesied about Revati's marriage with Durgam. Durgam started contemplating on this peculiar situation. Sage Pramochi started to make arrangements for the marriage. When Revati saw the arrangements being made for her marriage, she requested him to get her married in Revati Nakshatra. Sage Pramochi revealed to her that this particular nakshatra did not exist in the sky anymore. Revati then requested him to establish this nakshatra in the sky. Sage Pramochi re-established Revati nakshatra in the sky by the help of his divine powers. Thus Revati and Durgam got married. After getting married, Durgam requested the sage to bless him with a mighty son. Sage Pramochi blessed him. After some time, Revati gave birth to Raivat Manu. Raivat Manu was proficient in all the scriptures. The chief ganas of Raivat Manu mantra were Sumedha, Bhupati, Vaikunt and Amitabh Bachar. There were 14 deities present in each of the ganas. The presiding deity of these deities was Indra by the name of Vibhu. The Saptarishis present during this Manvantara were Hiranyaroma, Vedashri, Urdhva Bahu, Vedabahu, Sudhama, Mahamuni, Parayanya and Vasistha. Raivat Manu had 4 sons, Balabandhu, Mahavirya, Susyastanya and Satyak. Chakshak Manvantara. Chakshak had manifested from the eye Chakshu of Lord Brahma in his previous birth. For this reason he was known as Chakshu. Chakshu was born to Amitra and Giribhadra. After taking birth, he was abducted by Jatarini and exchanged with the son of King Vikrant, who was sleeping beside his mother. Being unaware of this event, Vikrant considered him as his own son and named him as Anand. When Anand grew up, once his guru instructed him to make salutations to his mother. Anand replied, to whom should I make salutations? The one who has given birth to me, or to the one who has brought me up and nurtured me? The Guru was surprised by his reply. He said, O son, Haimani, the wife of Vikrant, has given birth to you and so she is your mother. But Anand replied back, this woman is not my mother. I have taken birth from somebody else's womb. This woman is the mother of Chaitra. I am the son of Anmitra and Giribhadra. Jatarani had abducted me and brought me here. She had also carried Chaitra to Punarva place and kept him over there. Jatarani had devoured the son of Punarva. Now tell me who is my mother and to whom should I make salutation? The Guru became confused, so were the king and the queen. Ananda went to the forest and started doing penance. Prajapati became pleased by his tremendous penance and appeared before him. He said, O son, what makes you undertake such a reverent penance? Ananda replied, O Lord, I am doing this penance with the purpose of becoming free from all the bondages of my karma and to purify myself. Brahma said, only the mortal men are fit to become liberated because they are bound by their karma. But you, being a virtuous person, are not bound by your karma. With my blessings, you would become the sixth Manu. There is no need for you to do penance. Lord Brahma named him as Chakshu. Later on, he became famous as Chakshu Manu. When Chakshu Manu attained marriageable age, he married Vidarbha, the daughter of Ugra. Markandeya says, Appiya was the most prominent Gana of Chakshu Manvantar. He was the master of 8 deities. The second Gana was called Prasud. He too was the master of 8 deities. Similarly, there were 2 more Ganas, Bhatyaksha and Utaga. Each of them was the master of 8 deities. The presiding deity of these deities was Indra by the name of Manoja. The Saptarishis present during this Manvantara were Sumedha, Viraja, Havishman, Unnad, Madhu, Ati and Shashishnu. Chakshu had many mighty sons like Uru, Kuru, Shatat, Drumna. Now I am going to tell you about the 7th Manu who was called Vaivaswata. Vaivaswata Manvantara, the birth of Ashwini Kumaras and Revant. Markandeya says the Manu of Vaivaswata Manvantara was famously known as Vaivaswat, as he was the son of Vashwan, Surya. Surya was married to Sangya, the daughter of Vishwakarma. Although she had born 2 sons, Vaivaswat and Yama, and a daughter Yami from Surya, yet the radiance of Surya was too much for her to bear. So one day she created a shadow identity of herself and requested it to act as if she was the real Sangya. She said to the shadow, "As long as your identity remains unknown, I would not reveal myself." After this, Sangya went back to her father's home and ultimately to Uttar Kuru, where she started doing penance in the guise of a mare. Surya, on the other hand, was not aware of Sangya's doings. In due course of time, the shadow of Sangya gave birth to many children. Though she loved her own children, she never had the same attitude towards the 3 sons of Sangya. Seeing her discriminatory attitude, Yama tried to kick her with his leg. The shadow of Sangya became furious. She caused Yama's leg to be severed from his body. Yama became very scared. He went to his father, Surya, accompanied by Vasant and Yami. He told Surya, "A mother can never curse her own child. So this woman is certainly not our mother because she has cursed me." Surya called the shadow of Sangya and asked about her true identity. But Sangya's shadow kept mum. Seeing her quiet, Surya became very angry and he held her by her hair and was just about to curse her when, out of fear, she revealed the whole story. Surya went to the place of his father-in-law, Vishwakarma, and asked about Sangya. Vishwakarma reigned ignorance. He said, "She did come, but she had returned to your place after staying here for a while." Vishwakarma knew the reason why Sangya had abandoned her husband, so he subdued the radiance of Surya. The sages of Shavarnik Manvantara. Kaustik says, "O revered sage, you have already enlightened me by revealing the names of 7 different Manus of each Manvantar. You have also told me about the deities, the kings and the sages who existed during each Manvantar. Now I am curious to know about the 7 Manus, the deities and the sages of this Kalpa." Markandeya says, Savarani, the son of Sangya's shadow, would be the 8th Manu. The Saptarishis of Sarvani Manvantara would be Rama, Vyasa, Galva, Diptiman, Kripa, Rishyashring and Drauni, Ashwathama. The 3 main categories of deities existing during this Manvantara would be Stupa, Amitabh and Mukhya. Each of this is the master of 20 Ganas. Among these, the Ganas Prabhakar, Prabhas, Tita, Dharma, Teja, Rashmi, and Vakratu come under the authority of the deity. Sutapa, similarly, the deity Amitabh is the master of the Ganas like a Prabhu, Vibhu, and Vipas. The deity Mukhya is the lord of Ganas like Dama, Dant, Rit, Soma, and Vint. All of them are of offspring of sage Kashyapa. They will become famous as the deities of Savarani, Manvantar. Bali, the son of Virochan, would hold the post of Indra during this Manvantar. Viraja, Arava, Veera, Nirmoha, Satyavak, Kriti, and Vishnu will be the sons of Sarvani Manu.